Have you ever stopped to think about how your phone can handle Wi-Fi, 5G, and Bluetooth all at the same time? Well, the answer is hiding inside a tiny little chip that's doing something pretty revolutionary. Today, we're going to unpack the magic of what's called RFSoC. It's this incredible technology that's not only in our phones, but is also helping us, explore the universe and even build the computers of the future.
I mean, we totally take it for granted, right? Your phone just works. It jumps between all these different wireless signals, often at the same time, without a hiccup. But if you actually think about it, the engineering that goes into that is just staggering. It's a huge challenge, and it really sets the stage for this massive problem that desperately needed a solution.
So let's step back for a second. Imagine if your phone needed a separate, clunky piece of hardware for every single wireless service it used. One for Wi-Fi, one for your cell signal, one for Bluetooth. That's basically the old way of thinking. Our airwaves are this incredibly crowded, chaotic place, and the traditional way of building these rigid, single-purpose radios, it's like trying to navigate a superhighway with a horse and buggy. It's just too expensive, too inefficient, and it really can't keep up with our demands.
Yeah, and this slide, it just lays out the difference so perfectly. Over on the left, that's the old way. Just a mess of separate, power-hungry chips, each one hardwired to do exactly one thing. But on the right, you see the new idea, this elegant solution. A single, programmable piece of hardware that can do it all. And that is the core idea behind the entire revolution we're talking about.
So, what do you even call an idea this big? It's a concept that completely redefines what a radio even is at its core. It's called
Software-Defined Radio, or SDR for short. Okay, think of it like this. Instead of building a radio out of fixed pieces of hardware that you can't change, you build it using software. And that means you can completely change what the radio does with a simple software update. No soldering iron required. It's almost like having a universal remote for the entire wireless world.
All right, now let's take that idea and just go one massive step further. What if you could take all the power and all the complex electronics of an entire cell phone tower and shrink it down to fit onto a single chip? Well, that is exactly what this hero technology does.
So meet the Zinc UltraScale Plus RFSoC. I know, it's a bit of a mouthful, but this is the piece of tech that makes that dream of a single-chip radio a reality. As they detail in the book, Software-Defined Radio with Zinc UltraScale Plus RFSoC, this thing is the result of years and years of research, and believe me, it is already changing our world. So what's the secret sauce here? Well, it's this concept called monolithic integration. That's really just a fancy way of saying they figured out how to cram everything, all the sensitive analog radio parts, the digital converters, the powerful processors, the whole shebang, onto one single tiny piece of silicon. It is just an incredible feat of engineering. I love this quote from the source material because it just hits the nail on the head. We're not just talking about making a radio smaller. No, this is a fundamental shift in what's even possible. Can you imagine having the power of a cell phone tower in your pocket? That is the kind of leap we are talking about here.
Okay, so we've established that the RFSoC is a pretty big deal, but what does that actually mean for the real world? Let's kind of zoom out and look at the incredible impact this tiny chip is having right now.
Right off the bat, the benefits are just huge. We're talking about a level of flexibility that was frankly unimaginable a few years ago. You need to switch from a 5G signal to a satellite signal? Not a problem. The chip can literally reconfigure itself on the fly. And because it's all on one chip, it uses way less power and is so much cheaper to make. It's a total win-win-win.
So now we've got this amazing piece of technology that's smaller, faster, and more flexible than anything that came before it. The big question is, what can we actually do with it? Well, let's take a look at some of the mind-blowing things people are building with the RFSoC.
Seriously, the applications are wild. Of course, it's a game changer for 5G and whatever comes next with 6G wireless, but it's also revolutionizing things like advanced radar, where its speed lets us build systems that can see with unbelievable clarity. And then you get to the really mind-bending stuff like quantum computing, where it provides the super precise control you need to build the computers of tomorrow. The possibilities, they just keep expanding.
So the bottom line is this. The RFSoC is like a master key for the entire wireless world. It unlocks the full potential of the electromagnetic spectrum, and it gives innovators the power to finally create technologies that until now we've only dreamed of.
So I'll just leave you with this thought to chew on. What happens when you give the world's most brilliant minds the power to program the entire radio spectrum? What new wonders are they going to create? That's the future we're building, and it's all thanks to this tiny but truly revolutionary chip.